Welcome to Ivanove. What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm in the city of Ivanovo, the capital of Ivanovo Oblast, only 4 hours away from the center of Moscow via train. This city was founded in 1561 and remained a village for a couple of centuries until its fortunes completely changed in 1742. In 1742, the first textile factory came to this city, and over the 18th century, more and more came to this city, more and more people came here to work, and by the end of the 18th century, this city was well known as being the textile heart of Russia. When people talk about the mid-19th century here in this city, they say that it was basically one huge textile factory. So much so that this city got the nickname Russian Manchester, because Manchester was the leading textile city in the whole world at that time. That's super interesting for me because my hometown, Preston, is really close to Manchester. But I have to say, this place doesn't really look like Manchester at all. As well as being called the Russian Manchester, this city also has a second nickname. If you speak to someone from a different city in Russia and you say, what do you know about the city of Ivanovo, they'll tell you it's the city of brides. This city was known as the city of brides because in the 19th century, many women from all over Russia came to this city to find work in the textile factories. Because of that, there were far more women here than men, as men were working in other sectors like working in the army, and this city was just massively full of women. So it was said at the time, if you want to find a wife, you come here and find a textile worker. Nowadays, the economy in this city has completely changed. Textiles are no longer number one. That has declined and has been overtaken by tourism. Ivanovo is part of the collection of really old cities known as the Golden Ring, and many tours come here when they go and visit all of the cities. So I've just arrived, I can't wait to go explore. Let's have a look around. We begin here in Ivanovo the same as in almost every other city, next to the Lenin statue you can see behind me here. This Lenin statue is on Lenin Square, on Lenin Avenue. Absolutely no surprise to anyone, I'm sure. This statue in particular was erected in 1956 and is 4.5 meters high. Before that, there was a smaller Lenin statue, but it was deemed too small. It was deemed to be dwarfed by the buildings around it, and because of that, it was replaced. And now you see the new one as it is today. Behind me here is a statue of communist revolutionary Misael Franza. He is well known throughout the whole country of Russia and the former Soviet Union for his revolutionary activities, and has streets named after him in almost every Russian city. However, he has a special connection to this city which he doesn't have to any others. In 1905, he led a 72-day strike here in the city fighting for workers' rights, which was successful. And then later in 1917, around the revolution time, he was the leader of the government here in this city. The ruling Communist Party had a governor, had like a committee, and he was the chairman. And then because of this strike and because of his leadership role in this city in 1957, the Soviet government erected this statue to him 40 years after he led this city here in the center as a memory for his legacy. Behind me here is Trinity Church. Trinity Church is on here on Pushkin Square and was built between the years 2000 and 2007. It's a replica of a church in Tsagev Posad, Trinity Lavra. Tsagev Posad is the most holy city for Russian Orthodox Church, and therefore this church is pretty recognizable for all Orthodox Russians. There used to be other churches on this site, including a monastery in the 18th century and a different church in the 19th century. But at the start of the 20th century, the start of the Soviet Union, they knocked down the church that was in this place. It has been replaced now in the 21st century by this beautiful Trinity Church. I'm now standing in Revolution Square in the heart of the city. It has a huge monument here, as you can see, to the 1905 revolution. This is a very Soviet monument. However, this square is not named after the 1905 revolution, but 1915. In 1915, right during the First World War, there was a huge anti-war demonstration here in this square. And the Tsar's army came and shot lots of Ivanovo residents. This square is named in the honor of those who were murdered, Revolution Square. The statue in this square depicts a worker who is tired and has dropped a banner, and another colleague worker helping him out by picking it up. This square, this monument and this statue were all built in 1975 on the 70th anniversary of the 1905 revolution. And then 100 years later, in 2005, they all got a big restoring for the 100th anniversary. Behind me here is a very important building for the history of the Soviet Union. In 1905, the first ever council of worker deputies met in this building, a model which would then be copied all over the Soviet Union. This is now a museum opened in 1967, dedicated to the history of the revolution in this city and workers' rights throughout the Soviet Union. Behind me here is the Shudrovsky Chamber. Built in the 17th century, this is the oldest stone building in the whole of Ivanovo. Originally it was used as a government administration building and was later bought by local wealthy industrialist Shudrov, who turned this property into a home. But inside it has only 2 rooms. This building behind me is the Transfiguration Cathedral, the main cathedral in the whole of Ivanovo. It started being built in 1889 and was finished in 1893 and was completely funded by wealthy merchants. This building now is the main church in this city, the seat of the Ivanovo Metropolitan, and is incredibly beautiful in the classic Russian revival style. This behind me here is the Red Talca Memorial, dedicated to the people who took part in the 1905 revolutionary activities here in Ivanovo. People from this city set up workers' councils, the first ones in the entire country, and those people are commemorated here. Built on the 70th anniversary of those 1905 revolutionary activities, it includes this big obelisk thing and 16 busts of people who were involved in the activities. Unfortunately, this place is rather dilapidated now. Lots of the metal features which once existed were stolen. The eternal flame turned out not to be eternal, and the grass and the trees around here have really not been looked after. It's pretty sad because these people were very important in creating workers' rights for Soviet people, and now still lots of those legacies continue into the Russian era.